Hey everyone, well I thought I'd go ahead today and make a quick video on how to replace your lower control arm bushing on a Neon. And this is a 95 Neon, has about 48,000 miles, and my symptoms were you go down the highway and you go across maybe an uneven spot in the road and you feel the car kind of move a little bit, or the steering wheel kind of move and it kind of sway. Well, I did lower ball joints. Put new lower ball joints on both sides, even put new upper bearings on the top of the struts, and I'll show you real quick. You can pop the hood. It's been raining a little bit today, but it's December, right before Christmas, and it's warm. That's all I care about outside right now. Replaced both of those upper bearings on the struts, and it still did that, so couldn't figure out what was going on. So one day I was under here and I took a screwdriver, and I've already got this off, and I took a screwdriver and I found out this is my old control arm. It's bad, and there's the old what's left of the bushing that was on it. I basically took my saw, which is right here, little blade, and popped that out. This actually came right out, and you can see how brittle it is. It was causing the bottom of the control arm, when you go across a bump or something, or like an uneven place in the highway when you're driving 40-50 mile an hour, it would move like this, and it caused the wheel to try to correct itself. So that was my issue, and this was actually pretty easy to get out. Now, if you're going to take one out, I've got a press that I use right there, and it makes it pretty nice to have, but you might be able to just take a blade and cut yours out or knock it out. This is a factory one. You can see how flimsy it is. It was moving around. As a matter of fact, it was not even connected to this. This basically fell right out of that sleeve that it was supposed to be pressed in. So that's out. There's the new one, and you can see it's in pretty good shape. It only has one side where it's got a little place there cut into it. So this is a lot sturdier, and make sure you remember how it goes in. And that goes in like that. Now this one here, it looks like it's got some cracks in it. I may go ahead and try to replace it. I've got it right there. Actually, I bought these online for like, I don't know, $15, pretty cheap, from Parts Master. And I may go ahead and stick that one in too. But the main concern was that one right there. That was the bad one. And I've checked the other one on the other side. It's okay. Now, how I took this off was pretty simple. I basically jacked it up. I took the bolts off on the front there, and there's a bolt on the bottom that comes off right there. Pop the tie rod in off real quick. It was real easy to pop off. I've had it off before. And your sway bar. And there's my parts. I went to the sway bar links, and I took the bolt out on the bottom of the ball joint there. Let me back up there. There's the ball, and it came out. And basically, I just pulled this out like this, the whole unit. I think I'm zoomed in too close here. And you can see you can move this, and I just took a bar and popped that ball joint right off, and it came right out. And that's how I'm going to put it back on, basically in reverse order. You don't have to take your nut off or anything on the axle. If you want, you can. But when I go to put it back on, I'm just going to take a big bar. I have a bigger bar. I'm going to pry down in here and kind of force this lower ball joint down and slip all of that back on the ball joint. So all I got to do now is push this in, press this in, and I'll be done. And I'll look at this real quick and see. It looks like it's pretty solid in there, except for some little weathered cracks. But I may go ahead and replace it while it's off. So let me go ahead and push this in, and I'll give you an update here when I get everything kind of put back together. Oh, by the way, I did use a punch. I used a chisel. Kind of cut there and put a chisel in there and kind of knocked that out. That's how I got that out. So, if you don't have a press. Now, you probably will have to have a press or something to get this back in. You might be able to put some grease on it and take a bigger socket and knock it back in there with something sturdy like concrete or something underneath of it. You can probably do it that way without damaging it too bad. Alright, let me go ahead and press this in, and I'll be back here shortly. Alright, I got it in my press and it seems to be going in pretty good. If you don't have a press, it may be a little difficult to get that in there. I have a 20-ton hydraulic press. This thing's a lifesaver. And I got actually a plate on top of an old bearing couplet, and you want that the same size as the outside of that bushing there. And you can see it's, if I can hold the camera at the same time and do this, let me see. You can watch it go on there. There it is, going. Makes life easy. Let me take this off there real quick. Oh, catch it with one hand, with the other. Take it out here in the light and I'll show you what I used. There's an old bearing cap I used. See, it's on the outside. It was the same diameter. There's the press there. So I'm good to go. So, gosh, I don't know. I would have to cut this one out too. If that center sleeve doesn't come out, then I may not even mess with this, because it is, I got an hour before dark and I might take it out. I might go ahead and try to take it out and see what happens. I'll be right back. Alright, I got it all back together. It was pretty easy. I had a little hard time getting those bushings back, and they're new. They're those red bushings, the little tough ones. I forget what they call them now. The name will come here shortly, but I decided not to replace that back bushing. Actually, the front bushing up there. It's in a good shape. Yeah, it had some small cracks in it, but it was nothing as nearly as bad as this rear one. And you can see the rear one's in. I don't know if you can see, it's getting kind of dark out here, but it's in pretty good. Looks good. And those bolts are 18. And now in there, I believe, to take that one out was a oh gosh, let's see, 13/16 work. Everything else is 15s and 16, so it's pretty easy to do. And here's the pipe, the bar that I have that I stick. I usually just stick it like down in here and pry down on that lower control arm. Let your bolt is out of the ball joint, and you can pop that out. That's how that is. But it's all in, so I'm going to put the wheel back on and take it for a ride. I'll give you guys an update a little bit later, but it should take care of the swing, and that means everything has been replaced in it, just about, that I can see is bad, so it should steer a lot better. And probably I had a little bit of a shake too, so that'll probably take the shake out of it. So I'll take it for a spin here and I'll give you guys an update. Alright, I'm driving her down the interstate, going about 70, and it took care of that pulling that I was telling you about. I can go down the center of the line and it doesn't pull all over the place like it used to from the driver's side, so it looks like I took care of the problem. Now I still have a slight shake at 55, 60. I guess it's probably from a tire, but that bushing replaced really did take care of a lot of that pulling. It actually goes down the interstate straight now, steer straight without no problem. Before it would pull a little bit, so it looks like I'm doing pretty good. So I thought I'd give you guys an update. And if you got a problem, check all your bushings. I know there's a lot of bushings under there, but it only takes one to get bad and to cause you problems and shaking and all that good stuff. So thanks for watching, everybody. Be safe and be careful when you're working on your cars. And if you have any questions, I'll try to answer them. And thanks for watching. Have a good one.